Hello, everyone. Welcome to Sweetbriar Cottage. I hope you're having a wonderful, creative spring day. It's beautiful where we are, up in the Pacific Northwest. So today I have a journal share for you to see, and it's a vintage journal. It's what I like to make, and mostly always make a vintage style type of journal. Sometimes I do it a little less than that if it's for a gift, and I'm trying to make it to what that person likes, but I will just show you this one. It's rather a neutral in color. There is some color. I've tied it with a strip of ticking. I've named her Savannah. Looks like Savannah in I like the word. So on the front there is a picture of Savannah, and I've layered it with different copies of ephemera. There's some children's handwriting, or not handwriting, but printing there, and things you can't really tell what they are, but it's like a book page or something. I'm not sure what this was underneath the handwriting. And then another page here of vintage ephemera. Some knitting and old ticking, some quilt pieces, very old knitting, kind of off of a dress, I believe, like a wedding type dress maybe. Or I had this piece, it's just part of a piece of knitting like that with a little embroidery. And this is off of a very old antique doll. The hat, I think it was on the hat maybe. I'm not positive, but these are little tiny buttons on there, and like a little pearl. And I've added very old antique lace here, and it's off of kind of a doily. And then this is the lace here, and then there's a dangle here that I made, tassel with, I did the beading, not the best beater but anyway, I made that. And then there's a safety pin, some tatting. This is a embroidered handkerchief, and this is off of a dress, kind of like a crinoline, not crinoline, but lighter weight than that, and not knitting. But this is off a wedding dress, some very old trim. Okay, that's the front, and I'll show you the back. This is the back of the other side of the journal. I've made two signatures, one on each side of the journal, and I'll show you the first, well, the other side first. But I've made a lot of layers of lace here. This is kid glove, white kid glove, or part of it. I've taken it apart and made it into a skirt with a this is the same thing that's on the front there that I said is kind of like crinoline, but it's not. I have no idea what the name of it is, but it's pretty. So that's kind of like a slip, if you want to call that, looking like a dress maybe. That was my vision. Okay, so it has layers. This is the first layer, and this can come apart if you take this safety, undo the safety pin. But oh yeah, I forgot to tell you, I made this little button dangle. Okay, so that's the first layer, and then here's another. I think that might be a napkin that I've coffee dyed. Here's part of a pillowcase with some more lace added, and some eyelet lace here, a little charm of a key. And then I made a button card with some old buttons. Make sure we're in frame here. So, and then there's a very old postcard. Isn't that beautiful handwriting? Oops, I tell you that, and then I just take it away. Okay. And this looks good either side. The picture or just showing the stamp like that with the handwriting is pretty. And then I've added some, this is off of a doily, this blue here with a little charm. And this is padded. This is kind of like the real cover, but these are added layers here. So I put padding in between, and this is the, this is embossed paper here, really pretty white. And Sonia, my friend Sonia, made that for me. And then inside the pocket, I should say this is a double pocket here. Little pocket in this pocket that these go in. So I made this tag. And this says, she knew her beauty blossomed like lilac petals. And it goes along with her because, well, anyway, I should say that this came from Amity Bloom, those two things. In the picture in this. And then there's a couple pages of hers in there. Most of the things were from my ephemera collection or whatever that I've copied or not copied. Maybe it's some of them are real. Some of them are original. So this, well, first of all, this is a letter. And I think it's one of the ones from Africa. I have a number of ones, but it's on tissue paper. And it was in '86. Might be long ago to some people who weren't born at that time. So I guess it's vintage. And then this is a card. She's holding a little doll. And I'll read it to you because it's it's a meaningful to me. And we don't write cards like we used to. Most of us don't. And maybe some people really don't because, anyway, my era, if you wanted to talk to somebody and tell them a lot of things, you wrote a card or a letter, maybe called them, but long time ago, that was expensive if they're from a different area. I mean, there was one time, a period there where couldn't even call somebody 5 miles away without paying extra. So anyway, this is a card from my friend Susan, and it's from 1994. And Susan has passed away 10 years ago, so it's especially meaningful to me. But the context of this is about when my mother was visiting here, who has also passed on in 2019. And she's thanking me. So I invited her to lunch, and my mom was there, and she'd met my mom before and loved my mom. And anyway, it says, "Dear Jan and Carol," she called me Jan, "thank you both for such a wonderful afternoon. The lunch was so good. Thank you, or your company." See if we can get through this because I don't have. Maybe I should put my glasses on. Hold on just a second. That might help a little. All right. "Your company and a tour of the garden was delightful. It was a joy to get to know Judy better." And I don't know who Judy was because the Judy I know, I didn't know at that time. So maybe it'll come to me someday. Anyway, she said she is so nice. So thankful to have you for my friends. Come back soon, Carol. Love to you all, Susan. Anyway, I think I'm reading that because I want everybody to realize that I know we do. I know most everybody does. In my, the people that watch my videos, you're so precious. But life is is very fragile, and we don't always know if we're going to, see people. But I didn't mean to get sentimental, but I guess when I read a card that's sentimental, it's hard not to. So that's, anyway, you could have fast forward through that if you don't want to endure that. But okay, on to the rest of the journal. Oh, I didn't show you this. There's a little pink card in there. Really sweet little card. It may not go through the mail, though. It's too little if you're thinking about sending cards. I used to be a postal carrier, so I think these were not allowed. I don't know. I'll have to tell you about that someday. It's a whole other part of me that I'm glad is not part of my life now. Anyway, so 30 years of it. So here is one of my, what do you call it, ephemera pieces, and I've copy dyed it. And I really like the way when I copy dyed something that has, been printed, the ink actually bleeds, and so it's colorful. And then this is another one of mine. This is the ledger I use, ledger page, I mean, the big one, that I have that big ledger. Oh yeah, this might be from Amity Bloom. And then mulberry paper that I copy dyed. This is one of my receipts. Another copy dyed ephemera piece. And this lovely crinkly paper, and I copied my button collection, or part of it anyway, the white ones, and copy dyed it. Added some distressing things. Okay, well, not distressing, but distressed. I mean, I'm not distressed looking at it, but it is distressed. I'm sorry, I'm kind of in a goofy mood, I guess. So this is a very delicate doily that I put here, and I thought it went well with the transferware. I think that's transferware. Anyway, these dishes from a magazine page. And then here I've added a corner of a napkin. And this came off of something. It had this little thing sewn on, and I just left it. It's kind of gauzy type fabric, and I just liked how that looked. So I put a little tag that I stamped, and then a very old tiny photo. No idea. Nobody has any idea who that is because it's so tiny. And then a little card I made, or tag, I mean. And there's some magazine page and collaged that, and dictionary, and out of my old cookbook. Some mulberry paper that I did not copy dye. Just the kind of fun things you put in a vintage style journal. I didn't want to embellish it a whole lot because it makes it too thick, especially when I'm making it like this. But here's from an old 1943 or 48 yearbook. And this, you get to have a picture. We're getting real sentimental here now. That's a picture of my mom, and that is me that she's holding. So that's a copy of it, and you get to have that, whoever, not you. I mean you in the sense of if somebody buys this. And now I'm getting really goofy. Okay, that's going back there. I'm very thankful that they took pictures back then of, my mom especially, that pictures were taken, and they're very cherished. Now, not too many. Now, we have tons of pictures in the digital age, but we didn't have a whole lot. But what I do have, I appreciate. And this is off of, I think it was a garment, but it was very old. and Batiste, I think, or yeah, it's very lightweight. So I use that as a ruffle on a page of, can't see it too well on this side, but the other half of this is embroidered. It's like a tea towel or something like that. And that's the I guess this is the back side and this is the front side, yeah. And some more book pages. I like to clip things on. There's out of an old book that has little graph pages on it, a booklet, I should say. Here is, it's hard to see the birds, but there are 3 birds there, a little button and tatting. So I put that on the paper clip and an old postcard. And on the other side, I clipped some things too. And this is a cute lined page with the date, the months on there. So that's just a copy of a calling card, and then a little postcard I made. This is an actual photo, and this is an actual piece out of a newspaper. Let's see, no, it doesn't have any ads on there for prices, but that's always fun to look at because, boy, prices were different. Of course, people made less, we know that, but they didn't make as much money. Like a dime was really nice to have in the, I don't know what year, but even in the 50s when I won't say what age, just born, it was like, if you get a quarter, well, buy quite a few candy bars with that. My sister gave me this money. I'd put it in some other journals too. And then here's a postcard, modern but made to look older. And this one is an older one. But yeah, the wages were a lot lower with those low prices, but it is fun to look back at those things. Okay, so, oops. Lots of writing space and lots of fun things. And here's the other side of the tea towel, embroidered tea towel that I had copied, and the other part of the yearbook. I made a little flip up here where a person can write on, and then this flips down. This is an actual old tiny ledger, out of a tiny ledger about this big. And then this is wallpaper with a tiny doily, which can be used as a tab as well. This is actual wallpaper. More mulberry paper. Okay, so I made a pocket here and added extra lace. And then I made this little card with a doily and the lavender color tatting. A copy of a cabinet card or a journal card, and this is out of a Susan Branch book that I have. And then there's the other side of that magazine page. And this is a little, I don't know, it came off of a doily or something, but it can be used as a tab. And there's the other side of the transferware and the doily and the buttons, kind of the opposite side of the other side of the signature. And then this is totally blank, so you can write on it, so a person can write on it. And we come to the end. There's a pocket here at the end of this signature, and that's very old lace there, and a kind of, I think it's part of that coffee dyed napkin that I used on the front. And here's a very old postcard, and then a copy of a cabinet card and coffee dyed tag. And that's the end of that signature. And then we can flip it over. And this kind of rests right there, almost in the middle of the two. So we flip it over, and then I just arranged for a little place to keep that secure. And you just take that, put it over the button. So I left this as is. Someone could add a pocket there if they would like. I just decided to make it simple like that. Oh, I forgot to show you something, so I'm inserting this in after the fact, after I showed you this, but at the end of this signature, what I call the first signature, there's a little pocket I forgot to show you. So I put an original letter and a postcard in there. And then on the second signature, you can access it from the outside like that. There's a pocket here, or you can access it this way. And I put a copy of a cabinet card, and then two other cabinet cards, original ones here. And these are out of a book, a copy of a book I have, antique book, and then copy of another ledger page. Lots of writing space on this side. I made this, copied the lace and the buttons. This is off of a embroidery transfer that I have. And some more little pages. I made a pocket with lace and trim and a tag. Now when there's tatting too. This side, made another pocket that I copy dyed and made a sample card. This is a quilt piece. Whoops. Quilt top piece, I should say, and the same with this one, part of it, and then some copy dyed cotton fabric. And that just goes in here. It's always nice to add music, vintage music pages, copy dyed crinkly paper. I made a little pocket with a book page. I made sure I added some other, like cardstock right here so it doesn't rip. There's those birds again. I sewed around it. This is actually copies of my snippet rolls. And here we have a belly band of ticking with some vintage cards. Isn't that precious? It's a get well card, so hopefully it's not really for that, but it can be used. The purchaser of this, if somebody buys this off of Etsy, they could actually use it because it's not written, and so it's kind of a get well card, and then very pretty old postcard. And then more writing space. This is, I believe, from the wallpaper collection of Amity Bloom. Just some distressed paper, more of my snippet roll. Love that. Washi tape to hold that. Make sure this doesn't rip. Here I have taken one of my recipes out of an old recipe book, secured it with the lace there, or I think it's lace, yeah, lace. And of course it can flip up to write in. on the wallpaper here, because on this side there's very texturized wallpaper. This is some more embossed, just paper, and then another flip type of notepad of various things like the ledger, actual ledger pieces. So those two are secured the same way with the holes there. Got to check again if I haven't moved the, hard to see because the sun's kind of, I think it's okay. Okay, so there's the other side of that embroidery. Did I miss something? No, I don't think so. Another one of the pages I made, and then copy dyed that will add more writing space. And there we have it. There's the other side of that book page. This side, I mean the end here, is loose. I didn't secure this at all. That can, because I think it's nice to just know you can, you know, enjoy it like that. Obviously, if somebody desired to, they could make a pocket out of that or whatever. But and then there's my little tattered lace and paper label. I didn't put too many charms on this, but I might add a couple more. But so there's the button, and the, this is very, very old. I love that one. It comes in these, you know, it's kind of connected together in a piece of like a doily connection, whatever. So, okay, so I think I covered everything. I hope you will have a wonderful day or evening, whatever time you're watching this, and hope you're enjoying your spring. I'm looking forward to summer, but spring I always love too, because it's just, I love seeing the new things growing and everything. But all right, I hope you enjoyed this video, and any questions about it, feel free to ask. All right, thanks for watching. Until next time, bye-bye.